Good morning, all. Camelback Trading 2724 coming to you this Monday morning, May 18th. We're looking at the last bunch of days of the market profile of the SPY ETF here on Window Trader. A lot to talk about this morning. So I'm going to start with, I wasn't going to bring this up, but something transpired on Twitter yesterday that I think fits in perfectly what's going on this morning. So it started with, I had a webinar for a bunch of my traders Saturday morning. It was awesome. It went well. It was scheduled for an hour. It went 2 hours. It's great when you see the questions they ask, how it's all tying together, how things start to click. It's awesome. I will do one for my YouTube viewers and Twitter followers at some point, most likely in June. So stay tuned for that. But the main reason I'm telling you this is yesterday, one of the traders in my room just made a comment how he did well last week. Things are starting to click. He didn't say, hey, how to turn $1,000 into $1 million. It was a very just nice comment. And he was basically viciously attacked by somebody. I didn't know who this person was. And the only reason I saw it is because I was tagged on the thread. And so I saw it. And I just nicely said back, I don't understand the hostility. Everybody's trying to better themselves, people educating others and trying to make better traders of us all. And then he just went on to attack me. And when I looked him up, it put it all into perspective as he was a mindless algo. That's it. Clueless about trading. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of dislikes on this video because maybe I do have a lot of quant guys or whatever that follow me, and I don't care because shamelessly I went back and forth with him until I finally realized, what am I doing? I'm arguing basically with a machine, and he was boasting how he beat all these traders and called me a boomer, which I thought was great because yes, I am a boomer, and I finally just blocked him. And bottom line is this: if you have to prove yourself to other people, you're a failure. Plain and simple. There's only one person you have to prove yourself to, and that's yourself. You have to know yourself better than anybody else. If you're out there boasting or trying to prove yourself, you are already a failure. That's number one. Number two, like I've said to my room, and I'll say it here, the only thing an algorithm and a mindless machine has over you is speed. They will never, ever, ever beat you in the game of trading because you're absolutely smarter than them. Remember that. And the reason I'm telling you all this is look what's transpiring this morning. There's the herd mentality, the absolute herd mentality, just following each other based on, a possible vaccine, based on what Powell said last night on 60 Minutes. And as I've been watching it all morning, the way it stops at very visual points, stopped at the price pro base from the 12th, then the single prints, then the afternoon rally high, now at the POC. Remember, price is like water. It has to seek its level. That's all these algorithms are trying to do right now. If you think there's real long-term buyers in here saying, oh my goodness, we have to buy it, then you're kidding yourself. It's not. It's mindless machines just like that person that, hopefully I never speak to again for the rest of my life. So what's going on this morning? Well, remember, we're in a 25, 26 day balance. If you look at it like that, it becomes kind of daunting. So we have to break it down, right? Just like if a football team is starting first and 10 from its own 1 yard line down by a touchdown, they're not going to say, okay, we have to go 99 yards in one shot. They're going to take it baby steps. Same with an army taking over a hill. Well, here was a 3-day balance. So the first baby step is to come out of that 3-day balance. They're doing a pretty good job of it, right? They just got a first down. And the second step will be to take over this next 3 or 4 day balance, right? Your ultimate goal is to take out last month's high, which is a poor high, and have an inside month up. So that's how, to break it down in those terms. Now, next thing you're going to hear this morning is gap rules apply. Well, maybe for traders who don't care about making money do. Okay, because if you're just going to put that out there and throw it against the wall saying, okay, gap rules apply, I should be a buyer here at 293 when Friday's high was 286.33. We're talking about gapping higher by almost $6-7. Doesn't apply to me. I don't care if it goes up another $10 from here. Everything has to be put in context. To say you want to be a buyer because gap rules apply is absolute foolishness. Okay, you know what applies this morning? Patience. Let this market open up. Let this market decide early on, are we going to start trending after this large gap? Are we going to have an inventory adjustment and then go back higher? Are we going to start one time framing up? Those are the things that's going to determine and should determine what you do throughout the trading day. To tell you I have a game plan when we're gapping higher by over 2% is absolute foolishness, right? Do I want to short last week's high? Possibly. I'll show you, on the charts. We have a 3-week, basically triple top. So maybe you take a short play at the top of this latest 3-1. Not because the market's bad. Not because I don't think the market can go up here and take out last month's high. Certainly it can. But the higher you go, the less you risk. And let's remember something very importantly. Balance rules right now, not gap rules. Balance rules are taking front and center stage because we're getting to the top of a 26-day balance. Traders will do what's worked until it doesn't work no more. So I would think the closer we get to last month's high, you should get, at least initially, right? This is all about odds, my friend. That's why it's an art, it's visual, it's not all about math. Accept your odds, and you want the odds certainly in your favor. So the first time up here, you may get selling at the top of a balance. So maybe there you take a short play to see some kind of counter auction, an inventory adjustment. Once you start getting that market-generated information forming, if you're one-time framing up with single prints, you think I'm going to want to short it against here? No. So right now, your game plan is patience. Your upside destinations, while they're wiping them all out to the upside, the first one I will use right now, since we have exactly an hour to go prior to the opening, I guess I'll use 291.56 in case we do pull back, which was the afternoon rally high from May 12th. Then we have 294.24, which is last week's high. Then the really important one of 294.88, which is a monthly high and poor high in an inside month. Again, above that, we have 295.07, which was 9 wide for March 6th, and then 298.78 daily high and filling the gap at 300.01, 123-point gap. Now, my pre-market high as of right now it's 293.40, and it continues to go higher. So that's going to change. For your downside, right now, your first destination would be Friday's high of 286.33. So look at that. Until we get more market-generated information. I'm sorry, I apologize. We have the pre-market low is 288.76, still $5-6 away. Then you have Friday's high of 286.33. And then remember, we had a price probe on Friday, 285.96. Obviously being accepted in grand style this morning. So those are the only ones I'm going to give you. So again, do you want me to... I can't sit here and say and lie and say, oh, I have a game plan. I am shorting it here and buying it here. Let this market form at least an A period. Unless, like I said, if this thing runs up, right, you can take a put play against last week's high to see if you get a counter auction, right? Last week's high is only 60 somewhat cents below here. You could even add to it up to here. However, and this is a big thing, if you get above, let me make this smaller, if you get above last week's high and then the monthly high and get accepted, and boy is that the key word, acceptance. So what does acceptance mean? We get above last week's high, the monthly high, we're one time framing up, you have single prints, then I would not stay in a short position. But the first time there, you might get some reactive selling at last week's high and the monthly high for some sort of counter auction. And why is that? Because algorithms are mindless. They're seeking price. Well, this is what they're seeking. They're seeking here. They're seeking here initially. Plain and simple. Okay, let's go to the charts. So monthly. So the bulls' goal, obviously, they're above the trend line. But the biggest goal right now is to stop the one-time framing down, take out last month's high to have an inside month up. That's the key. Weekly. Here we are. Right? We took out last week's high. We took out last week's low. Came back. A lot of indecision. Basically have a triple top here. Right? First goal is last week's high. Second goal is this week's high. If they get above and get accepted, well, then you're above a 3-week balance and you're going to get more extension. If you don't get accepted, you'll come right back into it. And you're above the 287 level for now. Third thing, right? 20-somewhat day balance. It's daunting to look at it that way. That's why I just broke it down on a profile. First step for the buyers, take over the 3-day balance. They're doing that. Second step, take this 3-day balance. They're attempting that. Third step, this 2-day balance and the monthly high. If you do that and get accepted, odds are very good. You're going to fill that gap I just spoke about and get to the 200-day moving average. If you don't get accepted above it, you'll be right back into this balance. I will be updating my room by the second at 9:30 and as the trading day unfolds. Come check us out at camelbacktrading.org. Have a great day and we'll recap at 4 p.m.